Most people operate under a fundamental delusion about human relationships. They believe that to be valued, they must be constantly visible. They over-explain themselves. They rush to answer messages. They make themselves endlessly available, believing that loyalty and presence will be rewarded with respect. This is a complete miscalculation of human nature. If you want to understand how people truly operate, you must look at human interaction as a simple economy. It is a market of supply and demand. When your presence is in endless supply, your value drops to zero. You become predictable. You become a given. And human beings are biologically wired to take predictable things for granted. Think about the objects in your own room. The things you use every single day, you no longer even look at. You only notice them when they are missing. People will treat you exactly the same way. The more available you become, the more invisible your value becomes. This is why silence and distance are the ultimate equalizers in any power dynamic. When you pull away, you disrupt their psychological equilibrium. You remove the certainty they had about you. Suddenly, you are no longer a fixed variable in their life. You become a mystery, and the human brain cannot tolerate a mystery. It will obsess over it. It will try to solve it. When you stop explaining yourself, you take away their ammunition. People use your words to map out your mind. They want you to talk, to argue, to justify your actions, because as long as you are explaining yourself, you are submitting to their frame. You are proving that you care about their judgment. But when you respond to disrespect, or even just routine familiarity, with absolute silence, you flip the board. Silence is a mirror. When you do not react, people are forced to sit with their own thoughts. They begin to project their own insecurities onto your quietness. They wonder what you are thinking. They wonder if they went too far. They begin to negotiate against themselves without you having to utter a single word. This is not about being petty. It is not about throwing a silent tantrum. It is about emotional control. The average person is a slave to their impulses. If they feel anger, they shout. If they feel anxiety, they text. They bleed their emotions into the world, completely exposing their weaknesses. To be truly dangerous, you must kill these emotional reflexes. You must learn to observe a situation from the outside, as if you are watching a game play out on a chessboard. When someone pulls away from you, the standard reaction is to chase them, to ask them what is wrong, to try and fix it. Do the exact opposite, mirror their withdrawal. If they take a step back, you take 2 steps back. Give them the gift of your total absence. Let them feel the full weight of a life without your attention. You will find that people rarely notice your value, while you are always there. They do not respect your sacrifices when they are a daily occurrence. But the moment you become unreachable, everything changes. The dynamic shifts, the power transfers. They notice you when you leave. They respect the boundaries you enforce with your absence. Do not announce your departure. Do not write a paragraph explaining why you are stepping back. Explanations are for the weak. Simply redirect your energy inward. Focus entirely on your own progression, your own resources, and your own physical and mental sharpening. Treat your attention as your most valuable currency. Stop spending it on people who do not offer a high return on investment. The moment you truly internalize this, the moment you stop needing to be understood, you become untouchable. You stop being a pawn driven by the need for validation, and you become the player moving the pieces. When you become the player, your entire relationship with time changes. You no longer react in the present moment. Instead, you operate 3 steps ahead. Let us examine the trap of the last word. Most people possess a fragile ego. They believe that having the final say in an argument signifies dominance. They raise their voices, they insult, and they desperately try to force you to defend yourself. They want to drag you down into their emotional chaos, because in chaos everyone is equal. But a player does not fight in the mud. A player observes. A player steps back and lets the opponent exhaust themselves against a wall of absolute silence. When you allow someone to think they have won an argument, you give them a false sense of security. Their guard drops. They become arrogant, and arrogance is the precise moment a strategist strikes. You make it look like you are dancing in the palm of their hand, when in fact they have been dancing in yours. In your career, in your social circles, and in your closest relationships, the rules of power remain completely unchanged. The person who cares the least holds all the leverage. It is a brutal law of human nature, but it is absolute. When you show that you can walk away from a deal, a friendship, or a situation without a single drop of hesitation. You immediately dictate the terms. The modern world is terrified of absence. We live in an era of constant notifications, instant gratification, and forced connectivity. Because of this, when you choose to go darka, when you deliberately withhold your thoughts and your presence, you create a psychological vacuum. The human mind abhors a vacuum. It will automatically fill your silence with its own greatest insecurities. If you are quiet, your competitors wonder what strategy you are mapping out in the dark. If you are quiet, the person who disrespected you begins to realize they have permanently lost access to you. They begin to negotiate against themselves, trying to win you back without you having to lift a single finger. This is the transition from defensive silence to offensive strategy. You are no longer just protecting your peace. You are actively shifting the gravity of the room towards yourself. Look at the chessboard. The king moves only one square at a time. It is slow, it is quiet. It does not rush across the board like a panicked queen or a desperate knight. Yet the entire game revolves around its position. Be the king. Let others burn through their energy executing loud, meaningless moves. Let them chase validation, let them expose their weaknesses, and let them believe they are the center of attention. Everyone eventually reveals their true nature if you just watch them long enough. Your silence is not a weakness. It is the ultimate calculation. Master the art of absence. Speak less than necessary. Let them wonder. Welcome to the mindset of the Dark Leap. Subscribe to continue the mastery.